From futuristic icon to European outlaw, Tesla's Cybertruck has gone from headlines to headaches. In the US, it's a showstopper. But in Europe, it's a banned beast. British police literally seized one off the road. No, not because of self-driving tech, but because the design itself is so dangerous, it breaks laws repeatedly. So, what went so wrong with Elon Musk's indestructible machine? Let's talk about the fatal design flaws Tesla can't fix, and why the Cybertruck may never legally roll down a European street. First up, the design that got everyone talking, the sharp, angular edges. It looks like a spaceship, sure, but that isn't a compliment when it comes to road safety. The UK has strict rules. Any car must have rounded edges at least 3.2mm thick. Why? To reduce injury in case someone gets hit. The Cybertruck doesn't just break this rule, it smashes through it like a wrecking ball. Its flat surfaces and sharp lines could do serious damage to a pedestrian. Instead of pushing someone onto a hood like a normal car would, this vehicle could act more like a blade. And here's the twist. These sharp edges aren't just design flair. They're part of the vehicle's exoskeleton. That means Tesla can't just sand them down and call it a day. Changing the edges would require a complete redesign of the entire body structure. It's not a tweak, it's a rebuild. But it gets worse. Tesla actually patented this shape, fully aware it wouldn't meet European safety standards. That's not bold. It's reckless. And this is just the start. Now let's talk about what happens if the Cybertruck actually hits something. In regular cars, crashes are designed to be survivable. The front and rear of most vehicles are built to crumple like an accordion, absorbing the energy of the impact before it reaches the people inside. It's a basic safety principle. But the Cybertruck doesn't follow it. Tesla built it using 30x cold-rolled stainless steel, 3 times stronger than the steel used in regular cars. Sounds tough, right? Maybe too tough. That strength means it won't bend or absorb energy in a crash. Instead, all that impact force goes straight to the people inside. Or worse, the smaller car it hits. Engineers actually call this kind of design a rigid hazard. It's like crashing into a wall. And when that wall weighs over 3 tons, the danger multiplies. In Europe, this kind of rigidity isn't a badge of honor. It's a red flag. Which brings us straight to the next problem. You know that fancy full-width LED light bar on the front of the Cybertruck? Yeah, turns out it's illegal in the UK. Seriously. Europe has very specific lighting rules, down to the angle, brightness, and even the position of each headlight, indicator, and brake light. Cars must have separate units for low and high beams, running lights, and signals. But the Cybertruck tries to pack it all into one glowing strip. And while that looks futuristic, it fails to meet 6 different lighting requirements in a single shot. It's too bright, badly positioned, and hard to see from certain angles. Even worse, it doesn't have the required backup systems if the light control fails. That means if the central software goes down, you're left with 0 lights on a 3-ton beast. Now here's the crazy part. Tesla actually has a UK-compliant lighting design. But they didn't use it. Fixing this would mean cutting into that thick steel frame, reshaping the front and rear, and reinstalling multiple lighting units. Estimated cost? About £15,000 per truck, all for lights. And we're not done yet. Let's talk about the Cybertruck's weight. Ready? It weighs 6,898 pounds. That's over 3.1 tons. Now, UK law says if your vehicle is over 3.5 tons, you need a special commercial license, called a C1. Most drivers don't have that. And while the Cybertruck itself just barely squeezes under that limit, the moment you add passengers, luggage, or even a trailer, you've crossed the line. That means everyday drivers could be illegally operating the vehicle without even realizing it. Now add in Tesla's signature instant torque. The thing can go from 0 to 60 mph in 2.6 seconds. That's faster than many supercars. Combine that with 3 tons of steel, and you've got a rocket on wheels. Safety officials are worried, and rightly so. The UK's National Transportation Safety Board chair called it a 6,000-pound piece of steel that has no business going a quarter mile in under 11 seconds. Honestly, it's hard to argue with that. But the issues don't stop there. Even if you're licensed to drive it, can the Cybertruck actually fit on UK roads? Barely. The vehicle is 2.2 metres wide. A standard UK lane is about 3 metres wide. That leaves just 40 centimetres of total clearance. Not much room to breathe. Add another car next to you, and it's a tight squeeze. Now imagine navigating winding village lanes, multi-lane roundabouts, or tight city corners in that beast. It's like trying to park a tank in a bicycle rack. And this isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. The size makes it harder to maneuver, harder to stop, and harder for other drivers to safely pass. Even simple lane discipline becomes tricky when your vehicle is practically the size of the lane itself. And just when you think the problems couldn't pile any higher, here comes the recall. Tesla had to recall nearly 3,900 Cybertrucks built between November 2023 and April 2024 due to a serious accelerator defect. Turns out, if you push the pedal down hard enough, it can slip off and get stuck in the interior trim. That means the vehicle might accelerate on its own. And yeah, that's exactly as scary as it sounds. While Tesla promised a fix and said pressing the brake pedal would override it, the issue raised major questions, especially since this isn't the first time Tesla's been called out for pedal problems. In fact, a former Tesla engineer turned whistleblower warned about similar issues years ago. For a vehicle already in hot water over safety, this wasn't a good look. And remember, this is the truck that's supposed to be indestructible. But what's the use of tough steel if the gas pedal betrays you?
It became apparent that Mr. Hankey's job duties were expanded, and he became aware of the solar panel issue and the safety issues connected with it at that time. So it was actually going back to 2017. He tried to work internally with Tesla to get the problem resolved, and when he was not satisfied, that's when he filed the SEC and the Consumer Product Safety Commission complaint jointly in April of 2019. That's the background.
That recall just added fuel to the fire already blazing across Europe. Safety groups, especially in countries like the Czech Republic, began pushing hard against Cybertruck registrations. Activists claimed the trucks were sneaking into Europe through loopholes, mainly by underreporting their weight. And they weren't quiet about it. Groups like Transport and Environment sent official letters to the European Commission asking for a complete ban. Their message was simple: remove these oversized pickups from European roads immediately. The outrage wasn't just about legality, it was about danger. These weren't just big trucks, they were, as one campaigner put it, rolling threats. Imagine walking your dog or riding a bike next to one of these giants barreling through a small European town. The backlash wasn't some fringe reaction. It was coordinated, widespread, and backed by real safety data. Which raises a big question: how is this still allowed in the US? Well, the answer lies in the fundamental difference between how the US and UK approach road safety. In the US, the priority is mostly on protecting the person inside the vehicle. That's what the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration focuses on. If the driver walks away from the crash, it's a win. But in the UK and most of Europe, the focus is much broader. Safety isn't just about the driver. It's about passengers, pedestrians, cyclists, and even other vehicles on the road. European regulators believe cars should crumple a little in a crash, not just to protect you, but to protect others too. The Cybertruck's rigid design doesn't allow for that kind of mutual safety. It breaks the harmony. It's not that Europe's overreacting, it's that the US and Europe are playing by different rules entirely. And those rules are based on decades of research, countless crash tests, and one major principle: protect everyone, not just the person behind the wheel. Tesla currently holds around 10 to 12% of the UK electric vehicle market. So losing the Cybertruck here isn't just embarrassing, it's expensive. Analysts predict the ban could cost Tesla roughly £450 million in lost European sales over the next few years. But maybe that's not even the worst part. Pickup trucks, especially ones this size, just aren't popular in Europe. They account for less than 1% of total vehicle sales in the UK. Europe favours hatchbacks, compact crossovers, and city-friendly designs. It's not Texas, it's not Australia. It's tight corners, narrow lanes, and old cobbled streets. The Cybertruck, with its sheer bulk, seems completely out of place. And while Tesla's trying to make a statement, companies like Volkswagen, Renault, and Hyundai are quietly dominating the market with vehicles built specifically for these roads. They aren't trying to reinvent the wheel, they're just making it safer to roll. Elon Musk always knew the Cybertruck was a gamble. In 2021, he even tweeted that it might flop because it's so different from everything else. And yet, he made it anyway, because he loved it. The goal was never to blend in, it was to stand out. And in the US, it's doing just that. But Musk also admitted that to enter markets like Europe and China, the truck would need serious modifications. Those redesigns are supposedly coming in 2025, but only after Tesla boosts production in North America. So for now, Europe is off the table. The plan is to use profits from US and Canadian sales to fund a reworked version later. But the question remains, will anyone still care by then? Other brands are catching up. The EV world moves fast, and as Tesla fumbles with regulations and recalls, competitors are building sleek, safe, street-legal alternatives that already tick all the boxes. For Tesla, time may be running out. So, what began as Elon Musk's boldest creation may be his most controversial. The Cybertruck isn't banned in Europe over red tape. It's banned because its design challenges decades of proven safety rules. Should style ever come before safety? What do you think? Does the Cybertruck still have a future in Europe? Let us know in the comments.